What did the Christian settlers find when they came to the New World? They found a lot of civilizations that were murdering babies in weird religious rituals.
I fact-checked VP Vance's claims about colonialism with original sources. Here's what historians actually say. Alright, so he's saying Christian settlers found civilizations murdering babies. Let's look at who English settlers actually encountered. They met the Powhatan, Wampanoag, Iroquois and Algonquin peoples. Archaeological surveys of these societies shows that there is zero evidence of child sacrifice. These were decentralized, kinship-based groups. They didn't have the state structures that practiced large-scale ritual sacrifice. There is one exception, the Pawnee Morning Star ceremony in Nebraska, 2,000 miles from where the English settlers landed. So, no, English settlers didn't find widespread child sacrifice. Now, Spanish conquistadors in central Mexico and South America, that's a different story. Child sacrifice did occur in Aztec, Maya and Inca societies. Recent archaeological work confirms this. There's a 2024 DNA study in Nature about it. But here's where it gets interesting. Mexican archaeologists found 126 individuals at the Templo Mayor site, across all types of sacrifice. Spanish chronicler Diego Duran claimed over 80,000 victims in a single 1487 ceremony at that complex. The Codex Telleriano Rimensis, written by elderly Aztec informants, reports about 4,000 victims for that ceremony. That's 20 times inflation. Still horrific, but the Spanish accounts were still exaggerating 4 to 8 times. Historian Charles Munn documents this pattern. Spanish conquistadors consistently inflated accounts of indigenous practices to justify what they were about to do. Which brings us to a question. Why does anyone in 2025 care about rehabilitating these myths? Why spend 6 minutes fact-checking 500-year-old myths? Because Vance isn't just talking about history. In January 2025, he used what he calls Ordo Amoris, a hierarchical ordering of love, to justify cutting foreign aid. His explanation: you love your family first, then your neighbor, then your community. This is the same hierarchical logic. We are superior, they're far away, therefore we decide what they deserve. When politicians rehabilitate colonial propaganda, they're not teaching bad history for fun. They're building a worldview where exploitation is justified.
And in fact, it was a Christian empire, Great Britain, that abolished slavery to begin with.
Actually, the first nation in the Western Hemisphere to permanently abolish slavery was Haiti in 1804. And here's what makes this relevant. They did it by defeating the French, British and Spanish armies who were trying to keep them enslaved. The Haitian Revolution was enslaved people fighting against Christian empires that wanted to maintain slavery. They won. And 29 years before Britain's 1833 abolition. Now about that Christian empire claim. Richard Furman, president of the South Carolina Baptist Convention in 1822. The right of holding slaves is clearly established in the Holy Scriptures. Jefferson Davis, president of the Confederacy. Slavery was established by decree of Almighty God. Pope Nicholas V in 1452 authorized the Portuguese to enslave Saracens, pagans and other enemies of Christ. The Methodist Church split in 1844 over slavery. The Southern Baptist Convention was founded in 1845 specifically to defend it. Christians didn't just abolish slavery. Christians also defended slavery for centuries using the Bible.
If you go to historical archaeological sites where there were brothels, and the businesses in the world were gambling, prostitution, so there were brothels even in very ancient civilizations. If you go back to ancient brothels and you dig up the bones of the women who were working in these places, you will very often find a lot of children who were buried with them.
Okay, this one's interesting because he's repeating archaeology from the 1980s and 90s that has been debunked. Multiple sites in Roman Britain got this treatment. Infant burials were found, the media runs with brothel infanticide, and it becomes common knowledge. Juden Villa in England, Ashkelon in Israel, several others. Then DNA testing happens in the 2010s and the interpretation falls apart. 2014 DNA analysis of Juden Villa, balanced male to female ratio, all from different mothers. No trauma, proper burial, 97 infant deaths over 300 years of occupation. That's 0.32 per year. Normal infant mortality for the period. 2015 Cambridge University. We trust that this evidence disposes once and for all with the suggestion that infanticide was the norm in Roman Britain. Bioarchaeologist Cian Halcrow in 2017 specifically called this out. Whole cemeteries of unwanted brothel babies. These are sensational research stories that capture headlines but misrepresent archaeological evidence. Vance is repeating headlines that modern science has rejected. And even if they were true, which they are not, all these sites are from Roman Europe, not the Americas. 3 claims checked, none held up. Part 2 drops on Thursday. I'm fact-checking his claims about human rights, religious freedom, and whether Christian civilization is the most moral in history. Subscribe so you don't miss it.